Perhaps priests should quote this cardiologist about the Eucharist. Welcome to Men's Morning Lights. I'm Trapper Jack. I'm going to play a little bit of video. You might have seen this video before, Dr. Frederick Zugabe out of New York. He's looking at a host, a Eucharist. But is it possibly a Eucharistic miracle? Because he's not seeing he's not seeing a host. All of a sudden it's undergone these changes. And this is a cardiologist. He knows what he's looking at. He's so positive that he knows what he's looking at. And here is exactly what he is now looking at.
Heart tissue. There's a inflammatory infiltrate here. The heart tissue itself is degenerating. In other words, this is what happens sometimes after a heart attack. This is a person that had a heart attack, but it's not immediate. In other words, the person had to have lived a period of time after this. Now, there's other things that can cause this type of a item that resembles a heart attack. In automobile accidents, where they get chest crushes and it causes damage to the heart. You get it from a person getting beat up across the chest. You get coronary injuries from that. You get coronary injuries from people who gave CPR incorrectly, and a person comes out of it. That area may die off. The injury hit this area of the heart right here. The heart is one area that I know. Yep. This is my business. I think it actually comes from about right in this area, right in here.
And what's the function of that part of the heart?
That's the left ventricle. That's a major area that pumps the blood to all parts of the body. Now, what's the history?
Okay. We're investigating the potential of this being a Eucharistic miracle. A communion host was found abandoned in a church in Argentina in 1996. Somebody picked it up, and instead of a priest consuming it, because it had been on the floor and was dirty, they placed it in water. It was put in the tabernacle. When it was taken out a few days later, there was a blood-like substance. Then when the blood-like substance appeared, they thought something is happening here, so they put it all into distilled water.
That is amazing. How long had it been in the water in all?
3 years.
That tissue was in water for 3 years?
Yes.
That's hard to believe, because the tissue in here shows good fixation. And it would be amazing. The big thing about it is, that's really so funny, here it's heart muscle, but those cells are not normally there. Those inflammatory cells are not normally there. They come in as a reaction to injury. The blood supply is compromised and so forth. That's what really amazes me, that if that was a piece of Eucharist, where did those cells come from? These cells have to come from other areas of the body in order to do that. You guys are kind of like detectives on this stuff, huh?
I think it's the world's biggest detective story.
Uh-huh. Heart tissue.
Cells. He's talking about the white blood cells. It's like white blood cells go away like that. And here they are all these years later, and all that time in the water. He's shocked. He knows he's looking at heart tissue. And it's true with all Eucharistic miracles like this. Always the left ventricle, the part of the heart that's keeping you alive, pumping the blood. Always type AB blood. It's always the same. Somebody's heart, somebody's sacred heart, dead bread, or somebody's actual sacred heart. And these are things, when you hear about percentages of believers that the Eucharist is actually Jesus, it's like, do they know this? Maybe they should know this. Priests maybe should quote this cardiologist. Pretty powerful stuff. Send them this video. Or, tell you what, we'll give you a link also to the video this came from that has Frederick Zugabe on there, that doctor. It was put together by Ron Tesoriero. He is an Australian documentarian. He's a lawyer. He's an author, and he's going to be actually on my Touched by Heaven podcast very soon, unless he's already been on it because of when you watch this. But this guy has all kinds of stories like this about the supernatural. This just keeps happening over and over again. Eucharistic miracles and other great miracles of the supernatural. God just letting us know he's right here, right now. Love this stuff. Absolutely love it. So make sure you click on those links. Send it to whomever that needs to know these kinds of stories, okay? Because keep in mind, even doubting Thomas needed to know. Even he was the one who said, I'm not going to believe till fingers in the wounds and hand it to the side. And Jesus said, you need to have something physical? Do it. And what did Thomas say? My Lord and my God. Some people need this. Priests sometimes should quote Cardiologist. See you next week on Men's Morning Light.